Good morning. So I am just about to leave for work right now. I'm currently in the nursery in my daughter's room. We're so crazy to say. And just wanted to chat a little bit about what's been going on this week. I will be 19 weeks tomorrow, and we had our anatomy scan last Friday. We got some photos. I don't know if you can even see these or not, but we got a ton of photos actually, so I don't know if you can see that. Got some right here. Some side profiles. We got a foot. The anatomy scan, seeing her was really cool and obviously pretty nerve-wracking for, any parent, I feel like. And so we did our anatomy scan Friday early afternoon. Since I had an ultrasound technician do my ultrasound, I didn't get any results back right away. So I asked them, how does everything look? And she's like, oh, I can't tell you anything. The doctor will call you with the results. And I was like, wait, what? So I have to wait? I didn't hear back from them on Friday, didn't hear back from them on Saturday. Finally got a I got an email on Monday morning saying to call them and that they needed to take some new photos. So I called to try to get my results. So they had told me that they needed to do the ultrasound again and to look at a couple things and do the photos again. And so I'm sitting there and I'm freaking out. I have no idea if that's normal or maybe someone did something wrong or what that means. So I was able to finally call the OB department at 7 a.m. So I called them like 7:01 to try to get my results, and she had told me that the baby has a cyst on her brain and that most of the time they go away on their own, but to make sure that it's not going to cause, or it's not as serious, or it's not going to cause other problems, they want to see if it's accompanied with something else. And so that's what the second ultrasound was for, is to see if it's accompanied by XYZ. I don't know what it is. So I scheduled my appointment for the first available, which was Tuesday at 9 a.m. So she gave me a little bit of information, but not a whole lot. She told me what kind of cyst it was and the name of it. And she told me, as well as my friend told me and my cousin told me, do not Google this. And I was like, well, now I just want to Google it. And she's like, no, seriously, don't. It's like worst case scenario. It's super scary. Just don't even Google it. So I haven't Googled it. I don't even want to know. I'll let the doctors tell me what's going on. I was just really, really scared and nervous. So that was actually yesterday. We had our second ultrasound yesterday, and basically the ultrasound technician and the doctor came in and did it. That way they could look at the photos, make sure that everything's clear, that they're getting all the information that they need, and she would let me know right away what the verdict was. So that was good. That's good to know. My heart was like pounding the whole time. I'm trying to look at these images to see if I can see anything, but it's so difficult. I don't know what I'm looking at. I know what a brain looks like, and we did see the cyst and whatever, but I don't know. So I'm just waiting for answers. She basically said that my baby has 1 out of 12 possible chromosomal abnormalities, and usually when they have more of those 12, then they usually recommend the amniotic needle testing thing, where they put that long needle in your stomach and they test the amniotic fluid. And basically she has a 1% chance of having trisomy 18 or trisomy 21. And something about, I don't know if the chromosomal abnormality and the cyst go together or how they figure all that stuff out, but basically she has a cyst. Usually they go away on their own, so it should be fine. We'll check on it, at my next appointment Right now, she doesn't show signs of having any Down syndrome or anything else. All of her organs, her spine, her heart, her brain, all that stuff look good. So they're developing well, and I don't know what they were looking for, but they didn't find anything else. So that's good. Because she only has 1 out of the 12 chromosomal abnormalities, we opted out of doing the amniotic needle testing just because it's not worth the risk. And even worst case scenario, if she did come back with a chance of something, they said that the highest chance you can even be is 1 out of 100. So for me, even if she was 1 out of 100 chance of having, one of those, it's just very slim. So she only has 1 out of 12, and then so the chances are already pretty slim. So even worst case scenario, even if it came back and she did have 1 out of 100 chance of having one of these, I wouldn't want to terminate. We wouldn't want to terminate. So there's no point in going to that extent and taking that risk of doing that test. So everything looks good, and I think the biggest thing is that hopefully the cyst goes away and that all of her organs and everything, or her spine and all that, look good. Kind of scary at the time, but they do say that because we're doing testing so early these days, and just because of how things are nowadays, we see things that back in the day they didn't used to see, because things come up and then they go away. But usually by the time anyone else would have seen them, it's already gone. But we have our ultrasounds so early, and maybe it's more detailed than it used to be, or I don't know how they figure these things out, but the biggest thing is that she's healthy, she's growing, she's like 9 ounces now and like 5 inches, which I think is pretty right on the dot. They did say she's in like the 40th percentile, so probably measuring a little bit smaller, but they didn't seem to be concerned. At the same time, like my husband and I are not tall, like we're not big people, so I'm sure she's not going to be coming out of my womb like in the 90th percentile, but who knows. So I just kind of wanted to give an update. Those anatomy scans can be really nerve-wracking. I've heard a lot of good news, I've heard some bad news, and it's just scary. And naturally, being a mom, like you're worried and you just want to make sure that your baby is healthy. But everything is okay now, and I'm just going to kind of keep an eye on her and hope that goes away and that everything kind of goes smoothly the rest of the pregnancy and she just keeps growing. So I'm just excited we got to see her. And I saw her foot. It's such a different ultrasound than the last one. Like, this is the last one that we did with a doctor. I know we had the ultrasound at the ultrasound place at 12 weeks, but this is one we did with the doctor. I don't know if you could see it. That's 9 weeks, and it just looks like a little gummy bear, and now she's huge. So it's really cool. Really cool to see. So it's exciting. And look at all these pictures. No need to worry. So if any of you all have your anatomy scan coming up, just I hope it goes well, and stay calm, and I feel like just enjoy the moment and enjoy seeing your baby in detail, because it's a really long ultrasound, which is so cool. So that's all for now. See you later.